Hi, this is Kari G from Kari's KrAvE Corner, and I'm back to show you how to make pie crust. Okay, so what we need here to get started is 2.5 cups of flour. I have an extra 1 cup of flour here to the side for later to flour my surface. I have some water here, ice water. It has to be very cold. I just fill a cup up because you only need 6 to 8 tablespoons of it, so I just guesstimate. 1 cup of butter. It has to be kept very cold but not frozen. I'm just going to switch this up for the butter that I pre-cut up. That makes it a lot easier to work into your dough. You don't ever want to just throw a big hunk of butter in there all at one time. Okay, so you don't need any fancy mixers or food processors to make this. I just use the basic items. Even if you don't have a masher, you can use just a fork or your hands. Works just as well. Dough both sucks to make, but it tastes really good, so we'll see what we come up with today and enjoy our pie afterwards. So first I'm going to start with putting the flour. So here I have 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to slowly start to add in my butter and mash it up as I'm going. I'll move this closer so you can see what I'm doing better. So you just work this butter into the dough, or the flour, I'm sorry. Pie crust is a pain in the ass to work with when you roll it out. I sometimes cheat and use the frozen dough. Tastes just fairly as good to me. Just depends on how much work you want to put into it. So now that the butter's fairly worked in, you're starting to see it's just little balls. You're going to add 6 to 8 tablespoons of water slowly, because you don't want sticky dough. So I'll start off with 4 tablespoons and see where that gets us. As you can see, it's starting to get firmer and clump together better. You want it so it just sticks together, but it's not all gooey and sticky. Okay, I'm going to work the rest in with my hands. I find it easier. I'm starting to be able to form a ball with it now. If you need to, you can always add a little extra water, but do it very little bits at a time because it gets gooey real fast. Up here a little bit. This recipe will make 2 pie crusts. So it'll give you enough for either 2 open face pie shells if you're making, say, pumpkin pie or blueberry pie without a fancy lid on it. If you are making like an apple pie or something you want a nice little fancy top on, this is only going to get you 1 pie. So I'm just making them into nice little round balls right now. And then I'm going to put them in the fridge for an hour to chill. It makes the dough easier to work with. I think this helps with it not going to crumble as bad as it would if it was in just a ginormous ball when I start rolling it after being cold. Alright, it's been an hour. I'm ready to roll up some pie dough with you. Let's hope it turned out good. So I'll get one ready there. And I'm going to flour my surface. Hope I left myself enough room to work. You don't need too much, just so it doesn't stick. And then I'm gonna put a little flour on top of the dough and some on my hands and some on my rolling pin. Here goes nothing. Try to keep the dough as circular shaped as possible. I'm going to move this before I break it. This one so far seems to be rolling out nicely. Alright, I think it might be large enough now to fit in my pie shell. So, or in my pie pan. I'm just going to measure it. Beautiful. So, I like to fold mine. Some people like to roll theirs over the pin. I like to fold it. I find it easier. Just in case it's a little stuck and the pin doesn't roll it and rip it on you. Ta-da! I'm so happy it turned out. Alright, and then you center it in the middle of the pie pan. Then unfold it. I like to make sure it's in the corners good here. If it tears a little bit while you're doing this, it's no big deal. You can always just pinch the dough back together however you need. You can either take scissors and cut the excess dough off with scissors or pull it off. You can leave extra and do something fancy. It just all depends on what you want your pie to look like. I like to just roll it like this, usually. It makes a nice crust around the pie. If you don't feel like there's enough in one spot, you can always add some of the extra that you're going to come across to that spot later. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. So now we have our pie crust. You can use it for meat pies or fruit pies, so it's a great recipe to use. So there you have it. You have a pie crust ready to be filled up and baked off. And I will have an attachment for a blueberry pie filling and a pumpkin pie filling linked to this recipe for crust, so you will have your choice of what delicious pie to make with that. Thanks for joining me on Kari's KrAvE Corner today. Hope you had fun. Enjoy your pie. Also, important tip to know when making your pie crust, if you are doing a custard filling, you're going to want to pre-cook your pie crust first. Look down below. I have it written there how long and at what temperature you're going to want your pie crust to be at for custard pies.